Hey yo, what's up everybody? I hope you're all out there having an absolutely marvelous day. Welcome into the channel or welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael and I'm here just doing Michael things. And as you can see, we got a pretty good sized stack of top loaded trading cards before us, which means in this video we will be doing a continuation of going through my PC of Marvel trading cards. But before we dive into this video, I just want to take a moment to thank y'all for taking time out of your day and tuning into the channel. If you enjoy what y'all see, and I really hope that you do, please consider smashing that like button, leaving a comment, subscribing, and sharing the content and channel. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so y'all won't miss out on new uploaded content. Only takes you a second to do, but means absolutely everything to me. Now, without further ado, let's get after it. So, as I had already stated, this will be a continuation of going through my PC of trading card from Marvel. In the last video, we left off on the team photos. In this video, it will be a continuation of going through said team photos. This one is of the X-Men. So as you can see, I got a lot of them. And I got a few more battle cards or arch enemy cards. And I got 3x pictures or 3x3 images that were also, those ones will be featured later on in another video. But let's just jump into this one for the X-Men team photos, or variations of team photos for the X-Men. So this first one I have is the, I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. 1990 Marvel Entertainment, or Marvel Universe. This is the inaugural Impel set. This is of the team. I have two different teams for the X-Men in the 1990 set. But this first team photo, here it shows, let's see here. We got Banshee, Havoc, Storm, Jubilee, Gambit, Wolverine, Psylocke, Forge, Rogue, and Strong Guy. All members of the 1990 X-Men team, one half of the X-Men team, or different variation of the X-Men team. Condition of the card is great. It's off-centered just a little bit. It's a little bit thicker on the right than it is the left, thicker on the top than it is the bottom, but nonetheless, the overall condition of the card is impeccable, in great shape. All right, and there's your information there on the back. So there you go. That is the first card. That is card number 139. And then this next one is card number 140, which features the members of Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Shadowcat, Rogue, Phoenix, and Colossus. And there you go. There is the image. Great artwork, great imagery. You can tell that it is the early 90s comic book style art. Great looking card. I think this is my most best condition card for the X-Men team. It is just a little bit thicker on the right than it is the left, but top and bottom's great. It's centered just a little off, but overall condition is absolutely phenomenal. And again, great artwork, great imagery. All right, and there's your information there on the back. All right, let's move on to the next card. This one comes from the 1991 Marvel Universe Impel set. This is card number 159, which features the members of the X-Men team of Havoc, Wolverine, Storm, Banshee, Psylocke, Forge, Gambit, and Jubilee. And again, very indicative style to the comic book artwork for the 1991 artist for the books. Obviously, this is the artists from those years of the early 90s, but not images taken from the comic book. And again, condition of the card is in amazing shape. It's a little heavy on the right and the bottom in comparison to the left. I'm sorry, thicker on the left than it is the right, thicker on the bottom than it is the top. but still, nonetheless, great artwork, great imagery. And again, image created just for this set. All right, and there's your information there on the back. And let's continue on to the next card. This one comes from the, excuse me, the 1992 Impel. This one is of the Gold Strike team. I have 2 of these, and it is members that compile of Colossus, Jean Grey, Storm, Iceman, and Angel. And then there's your information there on the back as well. Storm is the team leader for the Gold Strike Force. And again, the condition of both these cards are in absolutely amazing shape as well. So that's it for the gold team. And now this next one, I have 2 of the Blue Strike Force team. And those are the members of Cyclops, Beast, Wolverine, Gambit, Psylocke, and Rogue. Like I said, 2 of those. So there's those 2 there. Let me turn this one around so we can look at the back as well. And again, great artwork, great imagery. Condition of both cards are in absolutely amazing condition. So there it is. There's that one. Moving on to the next card. This card comes from the 1992 Wolverine From Then Till Now. This is card number 30, titled New X-Men. And let's see here if we can go through all of these characters by memory. Of course, that's Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Cyclops, Banshee, Warpath, Nightcrawler, and I do believe that is Sunspot. Or Sunfire. I'm sorry, Sunfire. He was the Japanese mutant that joined the team briefly. Let's see if the information on the back says the same. Let's see here. Yep, Banshee, Sunfire. I was correct on that one. Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Thunder. Oh, because that's Thunderbird, not Warpath. I am sorry. And Cyclops. That was, if you've seen the last video, I had made mention of the X-Force member Warpath. This is his older brother Thunderbird, who dies in while working with the X-Men. This was the character that I was referring to in that previous video. If you haven't seen it, go back, check it out. But there it is. And there's all your information there on the back. All right, moving on to the next card. This card also comes from the 92 Wolverine From Then Till Now set. This is card number 58 and just titled The X-Men, which at this time I do believe this was the Blue Strike Force with Cyclops, Beast, Psylocke, Wolverine, Rogue, and Gambit. And now, the image that is on the back of this card of Psylocke, I wish that I had a full size, or even a card size, or even a 5x10, or 10x8, or 8x10, or 5x9, or whatever image of what I'm about to show you, because it is a great image of Psylocke coming up out the water with her scuba gear on. As you can see, there is your information there on the back. But yeah, that image there, I wish I could find in a larger format, colored, detailed, realistic, because I would put that bad boy up on my wall here in my room where I do all my videos at. But anyway, there is your information there on the back of the card. We will move on to the next. This one is the 92 Impel set, which again, this one is the Gold Strike Force team. I have 2 of those cards. It's the 1992 Impel Jim Lee set. So there you go. There's both of the images there. So as you can see, this team compiles of team leader Storm, Jean Grey, Colossus, Iceman, Bishop, and Archangel. Again, great condition of the cards, except for a little bit of white on the edge there and a little bit of white on the edge on this one. But this card, the right side card, absolutely amazing. This one's in great shape, other than that little dust right there. But you wipe that off real easily. But still, nonetheless, there's your information on the back. Great artwork, great imagery. Stanley is one of my favorite artists of all time, regardless of what company he is working for, because he's been around a lot, if not all, of the comic book companies. But there you go. There's that one there. And then this next two, is the Blue Strike Force, that compile of team members Cyclops, Wolverine, Beast, Rogue, Psylocke, and Gambit. And like I stated, I have 2 of them. So there you go. There's both of those cards there. Let's flip that one over so you guys can look at the image on the left and read the information on the right. And again, great artwork, great imagery, condition of the card, amazing as well. All right, moving on to the next card. This one comes from the 1993. This is one of the inserts. It is called The Unsolved Mysteries of the Marvel Universe, and this is titled The Fate of the X-Men. And as you can see, all the X-Men there laying on the ground, either deceased or unconscious or incapacitated in some form. Let's just put it that way. They're all incapacitated in some form. And the individual standing over top of them, you might recognize the image or what story it comes from. But there you go. There's your information there on the back. This one is the storyline of a traitor that was in the midst of the X-Men team. If you know the storyline, and if you see there in the image which X-Men is not laid there, this was the story arc of when Gambit, who is a creation of Mr. Sinister, not the original Gambit, the clone of Gambit. Sinister captured the original Gambit, cloned him, and sent the clone in to infiltrate the X-Men, kind of like he did in the storyline with Jean Grey and Madeline Pryor, where Mr. Sinister captured Jean Grey, cloned her, sent her into the X-Men team as Marvel Girl Jean Grey, banged Scott Summers, created Cable storyline there on and therefore. I mean, I'm sure you probably have watched any of my other videos. You know that I give detail of storyline behind the cards. But this one here, the traitor in the X-Men storyline for this was Gambit, was a clone of Gambit. But anyway, again, there's the rest of your information there on the back. I'm not aware if I showed it long enough the last time, but there it is. And we will move on to the next. Where did I leave off? I left off there. So this will go here. And now this next one is the 1993 Skybox. This one is the X-Men Series 2, the X2. This is the team photo of the X-Men Blue Team. And as you can see, we got team leader Cyclops, and we got Rogue, Beast, Gambit, Psylocke, Wolverine, and Jubilee, all compiling of the members of the X-Men Blue Team. And again, great artwork, great imagery. Condition of the cards in great shape. It's a little off-center. It's thicker on the right side here than it is on the left, but top to bottom looks really good. All right, and there's your information there on the back. Moving on to the next card. This one is also from the 1993 Skybox. This is the Gold X-Men Gold team that comprises of team leader is Storm. We got Jean Grey, Bishop, Colossus, Archangel, and Iceman. And again, great style, great presentation, great look of the card. It's a little bit heavy on the right than it is the left, so it's a little off-centered, but the artwork is absolutely amazing. Condition of the card is in fantastic shape. Corners, edges, surfaces on the front and back are absolutely amazing. All right, and there's your information there on the back. I haven't stated it in a while, so I will state it now. If I go too fast through these cards, please feel free to pause at any time so you can read all of the information that is on the back of each of these cards. So with that being said, let's continue on. This one is a promo card that went along with a couple other promo cards that I had featured in previous video, but this one is a little bit jacked up on the image, okay? It's just the way that it was drawn, and it doesn't state who the artist was, but and I know it was I believe this was the VHS, Pizza Hut VHS promo card. If I remember correctly, Rat Seller Cards, he was the one who gave me the information about two other cards that go along with this. And I do believe that this is the same. But what I was saying about how this image looks jacked up, but look at Xavier's face there. Look at Iceman's face there. I mean, even Jean Grey's face looks jacked up on this image of the original 5 to the more modern 6, because Xavier's not in the upper image, but still, I mean, even Beast looks kind of jacked up. But nonetheless, I do believe, like I said, that this was a promo card. And then there's your information there on the back. Yes, I know, I'm irked about this too. So somehow, some way, I got a hold of this card, and it was scotch taped on the bottom and on the side there, which pisses me off only because of the fact that it's going to fuck up the card if I try to take that tape off of there, and I don't want to do that. So it looks like shit because I had to leave it on there because I don't want to mess up the card, especially around that gold foiling there at the corner there, in the corner down there, as you can see. But still, nonetheless, there's your information there on the back of the card, and like I said, I do believe that this was a promo card for some VHSs. And then there you go. There is your original team. Then and now type shit. I just saw that. I think there was a glitch in my camera. Either it went, if it comes through on the video, I apologize, but my end through the camera, it just went black for a minute and then came back onto the image. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but if it does come through, I apologize. If it doesn't, then I'm just a rambling idiot. So we'll just move on. All right, to the next card, or cards. I got 1, 2. Okay, those are my doubles there. But I have the 1994 Fleer Ultra. This one is the X-Men Gold team, 3 card image. And there it is right there. So we'll just do it like this. First card, we have team members Iceman and Archangel. I love the artwork. I love the style. The artist did a great job of making it look really realistic. I mean, look at the detail in Archangel's face. There's a lot of detail in there with the shading and the highlights and the lowlights that makes that image of him look real. Same with the image of Iceman there in the back. But Tristan Shane does a great job on the artwork for this, these 3-panel set. And there was card 1 and card 2 of the 3. This is Storm and Professor Xavier. And again, as you can see, there's a lot of realism in the artwork around the faces. The body, it's a little lacking. It's a little muddy, especially for Storm. There's like, I know that you see her breasts, but it looks like they blend into her waist. You know, it doesn't really. It's just a little disproportionate for me, and it doesn't have the highlights or the lowlights to make them look like they're actually breasts on her chests, other than a couple little U's up there. But anyway, there's your information there on the back. Obviously, this is all one image that was separated into 3 different cards. So, I mean, yes, they all look different in their own right, but it came from one image. Like you see, look at this one here. The emotion that is on Bishop's face, where you got the muddy, smudgy, crappy looking, even the body proportions of Jean Grey in the background over his left shoulder. That looks elementary to me. It's very... It just doesn't look good. All right. In my opinion, that is a very bad image when you have all this other detail with the highlights and lowlights, the emotion on the face of Bishop and the veins bulging from his biceps and the creases in his outfit. You know, it's like the first one. Look at the image of Archangel, all the detail work in it. And it's just like, okay, everything else is just garbage. Okay, garbage is a strong word. I'm sorry. It looks bad. In my opinion, it just looks really bad. But here we go. Here is all 3 images together, or all 3 cards in one image. So there you go. There is that one there. All right, let's move on to the next. I have 1, 2. Okay, I have all 3 of these images. These are from the X-Men Blue Team, which compile of Psylocke, Sabretooth, Beast, Gambit, Cyclops, and Rogue. So let's set these here all together so you can see the full image as best I can show you. All right, let me do this one like that. Okay, there you go. There's the full image of all 6 characters. And yes, Wolverine is not in any of these ones for whatever reason. I do believe at this time this was after the Extinction Agenda, after Wolverine damn near dies but to the hands of Magneto when he has the adamantium ripped out of his body. So he was no longer really an X-Men at that time. And as you can see, Sabretooth was basically the badass, kick-ass, I'm going to fuck everybody else up character who tried to reform to being a good guy but was just a ruse, trying to infiltrate the team. But anyway, here is your first card of the 3. This is of Psylocke and Sabretooth. Good looking artwork, good looking imagery. The only thing that I don't like about the image is the way that there's no real depth in the image of Sabretooth in the background there. I mean, you see the different colors, but it looks like they're just piled on top of one another, that there's no real depth in the image. But there you go. There's your information there on the back. Artist is Jim Steranko. And again, this is another one of those one full image that was cut into 3 different cards. All right, second one, we have Blue Team members Beast and Gambit. Again, good looking card, but there's a little bit more definition and depth in the figure, the body of Beast, but then you look at Gambit in the background and it's just like, it's again just color on top of color but no real depth. All right, and there's your information there on the back. All right, and we'll move on to the last image of this 3 panel, and we have team leader Cyclops and team member Rogue. And again, you can see some depth in the upper body of Scott and the midsection there of Rogue, but when you get to the faces and the lower extremities, it's just bland. I mean, the curvature of Rogue's ass, the dimple of the side. I mean, now that's depth, that's contour, that gives you the perception of a 3-dimensional image, but then you go lower and it's just like it's all just layer on top of color on top of color. There's no real depth. The upper body, like I said, the midsection of Scott Summers, his chest and his abdomen, there's depth there. There's depth in the biceps, but the rest of the image just looks flat. Like his face, like her face, the hair, especially her hair. There's no depth in her hair. Maybe it was intended to be drawn half-assed, I don't know, or painted half-assed. It just looks like there's real good depth in certain aspects, but then it's flat in the majority of it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me being overcritical, but with the way that I love the art style. Maybe it's just because it's my eye and it's not my style of art that I would do. But nonetheless, it's still a good-looking image overall. So there you go. There's the whole full image again. X-Men Blue Team. All right, this one goes right there. We'll move on to the next. I have 1, 2, 3 cards in this series. This one isn't a blue team or a gold team. This is an event team. Again, this is one image cut into 3 different cards. These ones are the wedding of Cyclops and Jean Grey. So as we go here, and like that. So there you go. There is your full image. Now with this one is definitely better, in my opinion, than the last couple that we have seen of these 3 image panel cards. Let's set those 2 down there. We'll start off with the first one. This is, obviously, it states Wedding of Cyclops and Jean Grey there in the gold foil. But, yeah, we got the original team right there. And then the 2 of them right there in the foreground of their, I believe, secondary style. Because I do believe this was their original style here. With those, the green and yellow and just the all blue. And then they went to this one later on. But there's your information there on the back. And the artist is Bob Larkin. It's kind of hard to read the information on here because of the lettering, the font in the background there where it says The Wedding of Cyclops and Jean Grey. And this comes from the 1994 Fleer Ultra Ultra X-Men. So that's the first card of the 3. And then here we go. We got the second card during the Dark Phoenix saga there. And then, obviously the lip lock between Scott and Jean. And good, great artwork. The highlights, the lowlights, the depth. It actually looks like it's a 3-dimensional image and not just a flat 2D cartoon. Oh, almost forgot to show you the back. There you go. There's back information there on the back. All right, and on to the third card of this set, and it's the actual wedding with the newer outfits for the X-Men. And as you can see there in the top right behind the wedding gown picture of wedding gown picture of Jean Grey, we have Jean and Scott with their son Nathan, which grows up to be Cable. And again, great artwork, great imagery. I mean, even all those white little speckle things that you see throughout there, that's not dust on the card this time. That is actually the rice that, their other friends and and fellow mutants celebrating their wedding, throwing rice like, most people do during a wedding. at the end there of the ceremony as they walk out the church. And there's your information there on the back. All right, so that is it for these three. Like I say, it's a team image, but not a team image. It's more so like states the wedding of the two of them. There you go. Let's move on to the next. I have the original team cards from the 1994 Fleer Ultra. These are the 4 out of the 5. I do not have, for whatever reason, I do not have Cyclops. But here we go with the first one. Original team member Iceman. Again, like I said, from the 1994 Fleer Ultra. And then there is your information there on the back. So that's card number 98. I have 98, 99, 100, and 101. So I don't know if 97 was the card for Scott Summer or if card number 102 is the card for Scott Summer in this. But nonetheless, there that one is. And the next card is the Angel original team member card from the same set, the 94 Fleer Ultra. And then there's your information there on the back. All right, here's that there. And then on to the next card. This one is the original team of Beast in his original form. If you didn't know that the Beast we know now is the blue furry creature, but this is what Hank McCoy originally looked like. His mutant ability was transforming into the blue creature that we now know as Beast. But back in the early days, when he was still human, he did, as most, for lack of a better term, mad scientists, they did self-experiments. So even though Hank McCoy was not a mad scientist, but he is a genetic scientist, he did studies with his own blood work, because if he could find a cure, it's what he was looking for. In all actuality, through the process of doing these self-experiments, pretty much screwed up his DNA, and it was no longer a mutant ability to transform between human and beast form. He was locked as the beast form permanently. So there's your information there on the back. See right there, it says right there, blah, blah, as a premier member of the X-Men, later transformed into a true blue-furred beast in an experiment gone wrong. So there you go. There's that. So those are those three. And then here is the last original team member card that I have. This one is of Marvel Girl. And as like I had stated, I don't know where my Cyclops card is. It could be mixed in with my Cyclops character card. And I only had one of them, so it's in there, where these ones were probably the extras, which most likely I'm inclined to believe that these ones here that I'm showing you now were the extras outside of the individual character cards. But again, great artwork, great imagery on all of these cards. Condition are absolutely amazing as well. All right, and there's your information there about Marvel Girl, also known as Jean Grey. All right, so there you go. There is all 4 of those original team member cards. And now moving on to the next. This one is from the 94 Flair. This one is the card titled Child of the Future. This is Scott and Jean, Cyclops, and Marvel Girl with their son, Nathan, who goes to the future to be cured of his mutant killing virus called the Legacy virus. But as you can see there in the background, those sinister red eyes, which pretty much gives away who that character is. If you know the storyline arc, it's Mr. Sinister. But there you go. There is your information there on the back. All right, let's move on to the next card. This next one comes from also the 1994 Flair. This one is a card titled Blue and Gold, the 2 teams of the X-Men. It doesn't show every member of the X-Men team, but as you can see there, we got Storm, Cyclops, Bishop, and Wolverine. And again, as you can tell, it's a CGI card, and again, it is not the best of CGIs. It's really muddy in certain areas, and there's not enough depth in other areas, but that's what happened in these early mid years of trying to use CGI for their artwork. But there you go. There is your information there on the back. We'll move on to the next card, which also comes from the 94 Flair. This one is an image of sadness. This is a team member and friend of the team as well. This was the death of Ileana Rasputin, which then in turn triggers her mutant ability to escape limbo. She is the younger sister of Pieter Rasputin, also known as Colossus. So this is the death of Ileana, which, as you can see, it has affected Jubilee. And I know it's not a team card subject, but it is of the team members, and it does involve other team members. So that's why it's in this one. And as you can see there, card titled The Death of Ileana. This was way before she found out that she had mutant abilities. It was the legacy virus that she had contracted that killed her. And then within the confines of what was limbo, activated her mutant abilities, and then she was able to teleport back to quote-unquote reality. But again, another great storyline. If you dive into it, I highly recommend it. It's a phenomenal story. All right, let's move on to the next card. This one also is the from the 1994 Flair. This one is titled Gambit and Rogue, so obviously it's Gambit and Rogue. This was when they started to becoming more of a couple. They've always flirted back and forth with each other. Gambit knowing that Rogue could never truly touch him with her bare hands because, with her mutant powers, it would drain his, and then she would absorb his powers, memories, all that other good shit that goes along with the powers that she has. But as their flirtation grows, it also creates a bond between the two of them, and then they actually later on get married. There you go. There is the card of Rogue and Gambit. And there's your information there on the back. Pretty much everything that I just said is right there in writing. Not in the same words, but pretty close. So, all right, let's move on to the next. This next card is from the 1995 Fleer Ultra. This is the future versions of Jean Grey and Scott Summers from 2,000 years into the future, where they are known as Red and Slim. Obviously, you know who is who. Excuse me, everybody. I had to get a drink. But there it is. There is the image of Red and Slim, Jean and Scott. Great artwork, great imagery. There is all your information there on the back. All right, let's move on to the next card. This next card, actually, next cards are, again, the original team cards of the X-Men. I got card number 88, 89, 92, and 93. So I am missing card number 90 and 91, which I do believe is Iceman and Cyclops. Well, no, it is Iceman and Cyclops. So I'm presuming that those are in the individual character cards because I don't have them here in the full set. But here is your original team member, Angel. This is from the 1995 Fleer Ultra X-Men. Drawn intentionally in the style of the 1963 characters, as you will see as I progress through the other three cards. But there you go. There's your information there on the back. I do believe that John Romita Sr. is the artist for all of these original team member cards. We will check them out as we go. But there you go. There's the Angel card. And the next is Beast in his human form, because that's how he originally was when he was a founding member of the X-Men. Excuse me. And then there's your information there on the back about Dr. Henry McCoy. And that, yep, John Romita Sr. there. All right, on to the next card, which is the Marvel Girl card. And as you can see, still drawn in that 1960s style of how they looked when they were originally drawn in the comic books. I wonder what this dude did to piss her off. You know, did he walk up on her, smack her on her ass, and say, "Baby, get your ass in the kitchen, make me a sandwich," or some, or some dumb shit like that? Sorry, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Anyway, whatever the hell he did is deserved. So, oh man, sometimes I crack myself up. I know I don't have the same sense of humor as most, but still, that shit was funny to me. Anyway, yeah, again, John Romita Sr., and then, yes, he does the artwork on the last card as well. And then this last card, speaking of, is of Professor X, with all 5 members there on the left. Again, done in the same style as the early 60s. Great looking card, great artwork. Condition on all of these cards are absolutely amazing, all 4 of them. All right, and there's your information there on the back. Like I stated, I am missing, just from what I show you, the Cyclops and Iceman card, but I'm sure I have them in the individual character set. So there's those there. All right, next I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 6 cards all come from the 1995 Fleer Ultra X-Men. These are the X-Men Gold Team members. Starting off, I do believe they go in numeric order here. So yes, starting off with card number 100. Artist is Boris Vallejo, which I think is a phenomenal artist. But there we go. We have Archangel. And again, phenomenal art style. The artistry and imagery is amazing. You have depth, you have contrast, you have the highlights, the lowlights that makes this image look three-dimensional. It's not just an image on a card. And yes, I know it's banged up pretty bad here in the corner, but I know that this I have in the Archangel set is 1,000 times better shape than this one. That's why I have this one here in this team set. But there you go. There's your information there on the back. Let's move on to the next card. This next gold team member is Bishop. I know Bishop is a black man, okay? But why Boris made him look... I can't even give a nationality because, you know, I don't want to seem racist. But he's very yellow. Like he's a black man that's got jaundice. All right? I mean, I don't know what Boris was thinking. But this does not look like a black man to me with a mullet. This looks like a white dude with straight blackish brown hair in the form of a mullet, but he's got jaundice really, really fucking bad. I mean, if you didn't know by the outfit or the bulk or even the tattoo over his right eye of the M to mark him as a mutant because he was a mutant from the future. If you didn't know this image was Bishop, you wouldn't think that was a black man. For whatever reason. I don't know why Boris did it this way, but yeah. But nonetheless, it's still good art. It's still good imagery. It still looks three-dimensional with all the highlights, the lowlights, the depth, and all the shading and the color usage. Even though it's the wrong color usage, because like I said, this is a black man, not a yellow man. But there you go. There's your information there on the back. All right, on to the next card. This one is of team member Jean Grey. Great artwork, great imagery. And yes, Boris does all the artwork for this gold team set. All right, and there's your information there on the back. All right, let's move on to the next card. This one is of Iceman. That looks more like Silver Surfer than a man made of ice, which, you know, it's in the dude's name. He's a man made of ice, or a man that can manipulate ice, transform his appearance into ice, but he looks like Silver Surfer. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. Because I could pick it apart even more, but I'm not going to. So there's your information there on the back. All right, on to the next card. This next one we have Team Leader Storm, which I believe this is one of the better images of the set of Storm. The use of the highlights, the lowlights, the shading, the colors, it all makes it look very three-dimensional. And even though she's a black woman, she don't look yellow like he did Bishop. He definitely did Bishop wrong in that image, in my opinion. But you can tell that in this image, she is a woman of darker color. Even in the comic books, the renditions of her through the animated series, and even when Halle Berry portrayed her. Yes, Halle Berry is a light-skinned black woman, but that's Storm. Storm is a light-skinned black woman. But anyway, great work. Condition of the cards, yet amazing, just like the rest. All right, there's your information there on the back. All right, and on to the last card of the gold team members. This one is probably my most favorite image of Professor Xavier. It is so realistic. I mean, even with the shading. Why? I don't know, and it doesn't really matter, but the rest of the image, look at that. That looks like a portrait, a photograph taken of this man. I mean, the creases in his forehead and nose and cheek and chin, lips. It is so detailed. You even got the depth of different colors in his eyes. You got the reflectiveness in the corners of his eyes, and it looks so realistic. One of the better artwork of Professor Xavier, in my opinion. And Boris does an amazing job with this one. Dropped the ball on the other one, a couple other ones, but you know, this one looks great. And here's your information there on the back. All right, so there it is. There's all 6 of those cards there. All right, and we will move on to the next set of cards. These ones are also from the 1995 Fleer Ultra X-Men. These ones are of the blue team. Excuse me. These ones are card numbered 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. I am missing another card for this team. I do believe I am missing Jubilee's card out of this set. But nonetheless, first card from the 95 Fleer Ultra X-Men Blue Team set, we have our blue fuzzy friend Beast. And again, great artwork, great imagery. This is done by Ray Lago. As you can see, right there is his signature. And again, great artwork. The depth, the highlights, the lowlights, absolutely amazing. Condition of the card, again, impeccable. All right, and there's your information there on the back. All right, moving on to the next, we have team leader from the X-Men Blue Team. We have Cyclops. And again, great artwork, great imagery, the depth, the contrasting highlights and lowlights. Absolutely amazing artwork. And again, condition of the card for this one is also in great shape. There's your information there on the back. Next card, team member, we have Gambit. Amazing imagery, amazing artwork. The only thing that differs from this image than the norm for Gambit is his mutant power. When he charges up the cards, it has that pinkish purple, but I've noticed that several artists do it in like a yellow, red, orangish style, which I don't know why, because it is that pinkish purple. I mean, it is the same color of his eyes when he charges up his cards or charges up any object. If you ever noticed in depth, go back and take a look at it. His eye color is the same color as the charge of the objects, mainly cards, but he can do any other object as well. There's your information there on the back. All right, on to the next card. We have my favorite character in the X-Men. We have Psylocke. I was disappointed with the way that this art style was done, only because of there is no real contour or depth to her body. Just from neck to hips, her whole upper chest, midsection, forearms, just in this image alone, there's no real definition. Yes, you can tell that it's a woman just because of the highlights and the lowlights and the shading that they use, but there's no real depth in it like how you have Beast. You can see the depth in the colors in the highlights and lowlights, but in this one you don't. And plus her face looks jacked. It just doesn't look right to me. Maybe it's just because I'm being overcritical because this is my favorite character out of the female for X-Men, but I don't know. Anyway, there is your information there on the back. All right, on to the next card. We have Rogue. And again, it looks a little flat because there's no depth. There's no contour, no real contour other than using shading to make that contour. But still, nonetheless, it's a good looking card. The art style for what it is really nice. It's really good. And there's your information there on the back. Let's move on to the last card for the X-Men Blue Team from the 95 Fleer Ultra X-Men. We have Wolverine. And yes, I could pick this image apart. Yeah, Wolverine is my favorite character in the X-Men, or in the whole Marvel universe. And there's a lot of muddiness. There is a lot of no detail line work. There's no detail in the shading. It just looks like a splotch of color on top of a splotch of color. But again, like I had stated previously, maybe that was the style that Ray Lago was going for through these images. But nonetheless, again, my favorite character, regardless of even if this card was ripped in half and was garbage, I would still keep it. There you go. There's your information there on the back. All right, so that's it for the 95 Fleer Ultra X-Men Blue Team of the X-Men. Now on to the next two cards. These ones come from the TCG set of Dimension Zero. These are the high foiled. I have two of them. The back, it's inconsequential. That's what the back of the card looks like. I can only presume that the Japanese writing on the top is what it is in English on the bottom right there, which it says Dimension Zero. But the image of the card is the X-Men team, which we have. There is Cyclops, Emma Frost, Wolverine, Beast. We have Storm in the center, and I do believe that that last character on the far left, that is Kitty Pryde. But there you go. There's both of those images. Actually, I'll just show you the one. There's that one there, and it's got that textured foil there on the background. And this comes from the, the 2014 Chinese set for the TCG. Whatever this says down there, I don't know, but it's an X-Men team card. Moving on, we have two of the team affiliations of the X-Men. I have the base and the green foil parallel. This one is of Wolverine, Psylocke, Banshee, Forge, Storm, Gambit, and Jubilee. Silver one on the left is the base card. Green foil is the parallel on the right. Same image. The only difference is, of course, is the color of the foiling. So we'll show you the front and the back simultaneously. You can soak it all in at the same time, you know. And again, great artwork, great image. It is an award-winning image, an award-winning comic, as you can see right there from the image on the front. The only one that they don't show in this or state in this is that's Charles Xavier in the background there with that gold helmet on and that purple and black outfit and cape. Why they don't list him as a member on here, I don't know. But there you go. There are those two cards right there. And then on to our last X-Men team photo. This comes from the 2022-2023 Marvel Annual. This is the top teams of 2022, which comprise of the members Magic, Marvel Girl, X-23, Forge, Iceman, and Cyclops. So as you can see, I got all of my favorite characters, two of my female favorites out there, X-23 and Magic. Great looking card, great artwork, great imagery. Got that, I love that foiling there. It's absolutely amazing. And so there's your information there on the back. So that's it, everybody. That concludes this video. So as I wrap up another one, I just want to say thanks again for joining me today. I hope you all enjoyed this showcase as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. Y'all's support means absolutely everything to me, and it makes a world of difference not only to me, but to this channel as well. And I greatly appreciate it and each and every one of y'all for doing so. So before y'all go, please take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, be kind to everyone everywhere you go, because what you put out there returns to you 1,000-fold. So with that being said, I hope the rest of your day continues to be absolutely marvelous, and I will see y'all in the next video. Later, y'all. Peace.